Have you ever wondered why today is, well, today? Why is it January? Or why there are 365 days in a year? How many types of calendar are there in the whole world? And how do they count times in different and unique ways? How these calendars evolved from ancient periods to modern periods, how the names of the months and days were given, and how the years are counted as AD and BC. All of those things will be explored today in this video. Ancient civilizations measured time with a variety of calendars. While each was unique in that they measured years differently, most of the known ancient calendars followed one of these three approaches: solar, lunar, or lunisolar. The solar calendars are set based on the revolution of the Earth around the Sun. The Egyptians, for example, used a solar calendar with 365 days in each year. On the other hand, lunar calendars track time by the phases of the moon. The Sumerians used a lunar calendar with 12 months per year, each lasting 29 to 30 days. The third one is lunisolar calendars that incorporate both the moon phases and the solar year. The biblical or Hebrew calendar is an example of a lunisolar calendar, where years are based on the solar year, but months follow the moon's phases. So before we get to the modern-day calendar, let's rewind a bit. Our story begins in ancient Egypt, over 4,000 years ago. The Egyptians, observing the stars and the flooding of the Nile, created a 365-day solar calendar. This was revolutionary but still imperfect, whereas a lunar calendar ruled ancient Rome, but there was a problem: it kept drifting out of sync with the seasons. Later, Roman Emperor Julius Caesar introduced the Julian Calendar in 46 BCE. This was a significant leap forward, replacing the old Roman calendar, which was, well, quite a chaotic mess. The Julian calendar was based on the solar year, with 365 days and an extra day every 4 years, the leap year. This was a much more accurate system. But the Julian calendar wasn't perfect. It slightly overestimated the length of the solar year, leading to a gradual drift. By the 16th century, this error had accumulated to around 10 days. Imagine Christmas slowly creeping into spring. This discrepancy caused major problems for religious observances and agricultural practices. Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 entered into the drama. He tasked astronomers and mathematicians to fix the drift. Their solution? The Gregorian Calendar, which we still use today. They skipped 10 days to realign with the seasons and refined the leap year rule. Instead of every fourth year, years divisible by 100 wouldn't be leap years, unless they were also divisible by 400. This keeps us in near-perfect alignment with the solar year. But not everyone was ready to switch. Protestant countries saw it as a Catholic invention, and some didn't adopt it until centuries later. Fun fact is that Great Britain and its colonies switched in 1752 and adopted the newly published Gregorian Calendar, which led to jumping straight from September 2nd to September 14th. Imagine waking up and realizing you just skipped 11 days. However, as times passed by, people realized the effectiveness of this modern calendar. Today, the Gregorian Calendar isn't just a way to track time. It's a global standard that syncs international trade, technology, and even space exploration. But let's not forget its quirks. Ever wondered why February is so short, or why we have months with 30 or 31 days? Actually, February's short length is a remnant of the Roman calendar. Originally it had 29 days, but Augustus Caesar adjusted the lengths of other months to honor himself, leaving February with only 28 days most years. You can define it's a quirky legacy of political ego. Now the question is, how does the name of the month and days were given in this calendar? So the answer is on the screen. On the Gregorian calendar, months are named for Roman gods, officials, holidays, or Latin numbers. The calendar consists of 12 months, each lasting 28 to 31 days. January, Roman god, Janus, February, Roman holiday, Feriae, March, Roman god, Mars, April, Roman goddess, Aphrodite, May, Roman goddess, Maya, June, Roman god, Juno, July, Julius Caesar, August, Augustus Caesar, September, Latin for 7th month, October, Latin for 8th month, November, Latin for 9th month, December, Latin for 10th month. So now everything is explored except AD and BC. Whenever you see any year on any documentary, then you will find AD, BC, or CE, such a type of suffix. But why? So basically our calendar starts with the birth of Christ. AD does not mean after death, but Anno Domini, a Latin word meaning the year of our Lord. The full term is actually Anno Domini Nostri Jesu Christi. In 525 CE, the monk Dionysius Exiguus simply declared that it was actually 525 years since the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, Anno Domini Nostri Jesu Christi. But the thing about the birth of Christ is that, had it actually happened or not, it did not happen in 1 CE. One gospel ties the birth of Jesus to the reign of Herod the Great. He died in 4 BCE. Another gospel ties the birth of Jesus to the census of Quirinius. That happened in 6 CE, so we're not exactly sure when Jesus was born, if he was born. And well, people ignored the poor monk and continued to count years as they had before. People in the Roman Empire counted years since the foundation of the city. Some kingdoms counted the reigning years of the current emperor. It took some time for Dionysius's way of counting years to get popular though. The Venerable Bede used Anno Domini in the mid-8th century, and it was first used by a government in the Carolingian Empire, with approval by Charlemagne in the late 8th century. Curiously, the Holy See, which is the governing body of the Catholic Church and the Vatican City State, didn't use this way of counting years until the 12th century. And BC wasn't used at all until the mid-17th century. There are a few mentions of it earlier, but it never got hold until Antichristum, before Christ, was used in the mid-17th century. Anyway, around the start of the 18th century, some people thought that Common Era was a better name, precisely because of the contradictions of the Gospels about the birth of Jesus, and also because people were getting more and more global and multicultural. Not everyone subscribed to the idea that Jesus was their Lord. For instance, Muslims, Jews, atheists, Chinese, Hindus, etc. So Common Era started to be used in a limited sense, became commonly used among historians since at least the mid-1850s, and has been generally used among scientists in the 20th century. No matter what we call years in our calendars, we still have to face the problem that it is somewhat necessary to coordinate activities among 2.2 billion Christians, 1.8 billion Muslims, 1 billion Hindus, 1.4 billion Chinese, 126 million Japanese, where all of which count years in their different ways. So the calendar we use today officially is a testament to human ingenuity, a blend of astronomy, politics, and practicality. It's a reminder of our quest to understand the cosmos and make sense of time.
Breaking news.
So, the next time you glance at your calendar, think about the millennia of history ticking behind it. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What's your favorite piece of calendar trivia? Let me know and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep tracking time. Be peace, be unique.